Fight! Rune Silent, Liu Kang, Shang Tsung, Scorpion, Shao Kahn, Raiden, Sub-Zero. Come here!
Your spine will shiver. Yes. I'm simply too fast.
The void begins. Death comes for all. Dream of nightmares. Beware the shadows. Outstanding. 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 You suck. Don't make me laugh. Impressive.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the MK Mobile Podcast. I hope all of you have been doing good. It's been that long, I've literally forgotten how to talk, apparently. But anyways, yeah, welcome back. Super excited about this episode. First of all, spoilers. Hopefully you can hear that air horn, that air siren right now. Because, yeah, we're going to get into some spoilers. And a couple episodes back, I talked about some other spoilers and my view on data mining and stuff like that. But I'll get into that once right before I start getting into the real thick of things, the real meat and potatoes of this episode. First of all, though, we got to cover a couple different things. We got to cover out what's just been happening. There's been a ton of crap that's been happening since the last time I was able to sit down in front of this microphone and talk to you all. First thing is triple tower frickin' exhaustion. Triple tower craziness. We have 3 towers going on right now. And I think there's some good things and some bad things about having that much going on in the game. First of all, it takes a shit ton of time out of a person's day to go through these towers. If you're gonna actually like refresh after every 5, it does take a long time, and it drains the frickin' souls quickly. So that's like one of the first things I've kind of been dealing with, is just finding the time to play the game, and then also to make content about it is just a battle. I don't know if any of you are into making content. But it does take a lot of time, and then if you have a family on top of that, it's super hard to do. So anyways, kind of getting a little exhausted. I want to say burnout, but definitely exhausted of just trying to keep up with those towers, because I do want to try to get like as much drop rates as I possibly can, and try to get like some new cards. So with that, that's kind of like the con of it. The pro of it is you do get more chances to get epic gear and diamond character drops, and sometimes all 3 towers align, and you'll have 3 chances to get a diamond character all in the same play, all in the same day, and all in the same play. And I actually did get a brand new card. Thank goodness he finally blew in. But yes, Fujin is finally joined my roster. So happy about that. Got him from the Classic Tower, and then Fatal, obviously. But yeah, super excited to have him. But I'm still missing Classic Raiden, the Classic Movie Raiden, Pyromancer Tanya, Classic Shang Tsung, and the Joker. So hopefully they will soon also join my roster. So another kind of crazy thing that's been happening recently are just some very strange bugs. Obviously, when the Classic Tower came out, there were some serious crashing issues, crashing bugs. Since then, they've fixed some of that, but there are still some weird ones, and I just wanted to note a couple that I kind of took screenshots of. First one is from Bojar. And definitely, it's an Oscar-winning performance from Sub-Zero. And if you're listening to this, please go to my YouTube and watch this one, because it is hilarious. You have Black Dragon Tremor looking at Cold War Sub-Zero doing his best death scene, and it is an amazing death scene. But then when he finally dies, his skeleton, his framework, actually pops in and then freezes. It's like the craziest thing ever. Another one I noticed was my Scorpion did brutality, and his head was completely missing. So that's very interesting. I also had one, I'll try to find it. I also had one where the skeleton came off Terminator and appeared over on my side on Injustice 2 Raiden, I believe. So that was very odd. Let's see, I think I have another one here. I did have a couple where a dead character would come back into play, but then the game would just freeze. or not freeze. It would just, you couldn't tap anything. It was, couldn't tap any buttons. It would just, and if there was no timer, you just sat there. You sat there and they all stared at each other. So that was very odd. And so yeah, just some weird, very weird bugs. Casey Mobile Gaming had one where Raiden probably did his SP1 and he just disappeared, and then all you could see is his hat. So I don't know what's going on there. Something definitely with the hats though. I noticed like if the character comes back, their hat is missing. I think there's something going on with the hats, guys. Yes, definitely something going on there. But let's move on. Let's keep this thing growing because I know you guys want to get to the main part of this. But first we need to do Test Your Might. Okay, everybody, here is the question for this episode's Test Your Might. This character has a support card named Demonic Toughness. Okay? This character has a support card named Demonic Toughness. Think about that while I'm talking about stuff in this episode, and at the end of it, I will give the answer and we will test your might to see just how much you know about MK Mobile. Alright, and with that, let's get into the main part of this episode where I'm going to give you my thoughts on the next character, and possibly characters, that we will see in the next update, which should be coming here pretty soon. Everything's kind of winding down with what we're doing now, and we're getting to that January time frame. The first quarter of next year, and I think we're going to see an update here pretty soon. So my predictions in this episode are basically based off various YouTubers' latest videos, as well as some things that data miners have recently found. And again, this is a spoiler, so everybody get ready. If you do not want to hear this, please turn this off now, because I'm going to get into some things that I think are probably 100% accurate, just from past experiences with data miners and them finding files in the game and those becoming true. So the first thing is, here we go. New friendship, obviously, is going to be Erron Black. Erron Black's going to get a new friendship, which will be good, actually. I think that's going to be good because Gunslinger Erron Black needs something. And he's probably, at that point, he's probably going to be the next character for the Combat Pass. Okay, so I would expect to see him coming up in the next Combat Pass. And it's interesting because when I asked all of you who you thought was going to be next, a lot of you did say Erron Black. So he rightfully deserves that. I would like to see him get a friendship and just be able to buff that Gunslinger, that gold Gunslinger card itself. So on top of that, we are definitely getting a new tower. Of course, we always get new towers, you guys. I've been saying this forever. Towers are the revenue machine for this game and everything that comes with them, okay? Not only just the tower, but all the equipment that comes with it. So the new tower is going to be called White Lotus. And with all of that information, I figured that they would probably create some characters, or introduce some characters that were based off of the White Lotus Society in Mortal Kombat. So let's talk about the members of the White Lotus Society, the enemies of the White Lotus Society, and also the allies of that group, to just kind of narrow the field on what characters possibly could be coming into this game in the next update. So members of the White Lotus Society are Raiden, Shujinko, Fujin, Liu Kang, Monk, actually, is a member of that. And actually, this might be a future Test Your Might question. Monk had his first playable debut in what game? This game. MK Mobile, everybody. Pretty cool. Shaolin monks are Kai, Kung Lao, and Kung Jin. So those are the actual members. The allies of the White Lotus Society are obviously Elder Gods, Bo' Rai Cho, maybe possibly another Bo' Rai Cho. I know Casey Mobile Gaming would be super excited about that. Kitana, Special Forces, Lin Kuei, and the Shira Ryu. So you have two opposing clans there, actually in the same, are allies of the same group right there, which is interesting. Enemies of that society. Sorry, Outworld, Netherrealm, Shang Tsung, the Brotherhood of the Shadow, Shao Kahn, Kronika, and Shinnok. Okay, so with all that information, I wanted to list the enemies because it could be possible that this tower could have an antagonist as well as a protagonist. So let me explain that. So usually your protagonist becomes your antagonist due to the fact that you're going to be having to fight a boss version of that character. So Fire God Liu Kang, for example, in the tower, or in the game, he is the protagonist. But when you're fighting against him, he's definitely an antagonist, okay? Because he is kicking your ass and starting you on fire and healing. So that's just an example. But it would be cool because this is a possible tower that they could have both those things. So, for example, you might have a Shinnok as your main, a new Shinnok as your main boss that you have to defeat in the game, and your character that you might see along the way up there could be a new Kung Lao. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. It'd be kind of a neat idea. Probably not but I thought I would throw that in because it is kind of a neat idea to have an actual like story behind the tower. They did that on a couple towers. They actually had like a story that went along with it. I haven't seen that for a while, but with all that information, I think we are probably going to see a new Kung Lao. Okay, so we only have one Diamond Kung Lao right now. I think what we'll see is probably MK11 Kung Lao, and I think you're going to see some friendship equipment come along with that, which will also be tower equipment. Possibility. We could now finally see Corrupt Shinnok, okay? Because those two would tie directly in to the White Lotus Society, you know, a member as well as a enemy. Who knows? Maybe we're actually going to see a Diamond Monk. I know that is a common kind of a joke among some of the players, is just an all-powerful monk card. I know Chris Blade designed one, which is hilarious, but who knows? They may throw that into the game as well. Another possibility could be just the Great Kung Lao. Wouldn't that be amazing? Totally going back in time and being able to play as the Great Kung Lao against Goro or something like that would be awesome in this game. So here, that's my guess. I think for sure we're going to see another Diamond MK11 Kung Lao, as well as I really think finally we're going to see Corrupt Shinnok. Those are the two new cards I think we're going to see. They may throw another gold card in along the way, and maybe that'll be Monk, or maybe that'll be the Great Kung Lao, or possibly maybe a new Kung Jin. Who knows? But I think that's what we're going to see. Okay, guys? It's going to be Diamond Kung Lao and a Diamond Shinnok. That's my guess. Okay, everybody? Obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, let me know what you think. You think I'm spot on with these ideas? What do you think? Who do you think could be next? Please let me know in those comments below. And with that, let's get back to Test Your Might, because that kind of ends that little segment of this episode. Let's get back to Test Your Might. The question was, this character has a support card named Demonic Toughness, and everybody, the answer to that is Oni. Did you get it right? I expected you probably did, because he was one of the first characters introduced in this game. Alright, everybody, and that is it for this episode. My family just got home, as you can probably hear in the background. So I am going to go spend time with them, but everybody, thank you so much for spending time with me on this podcast, and I hope to have more content out as soon as possible. Alright, thanks again, everybody. Bye.